everybody. Welcome to Unlocking the Magic. You're listening to episode number 355. We're switching things up today as we're talking 10 things we love about Universal Studios Florida.
Yeah, we do love Universal Studios recently.
We love it, and they've been really funny on social media. What's there not to love? They have great theme parks that we like visiting for a variety of reasons. For a while there, we were calling it the park that shall not be named, but quite honestly, they have upped their game. So we're going to talk about things that we love, so that maybe next time you're there, you can appreciate the park for yourself.
And as your kids get older, Universal is a great park for older kids because it has more roller coasters, it has more thrilling attractions and rides than Disney does. And, it's a great place to kind of hang out. If you're in Disney and you're going there and you're in Orlando, it's a great park to go maybe visit.
Yeah, a lot of people do split stays or they'll just go to the park for a day or two. And I agree. It is a park that I think will be more appreciated if you have older kids, some thrill seekers. It's definitely the place for roller coasters. So that being said, there's still some fun you can have. There are areas in the park for youngsters, but for the most part, we think it's older crowd.
And by the way,
if
you are going to head to Orlando or anywhere, actually, you know what you should do?
What's that?
Check out our UTM Travel.
We have an outstanding team of agents that specialize in a variety of destinations, from Aulani, from Disney Cruise Line, Sandals, Resorts, Beaches Resort, which is family friendly.
Flip-flops. Are we just yelling out random shoe wear?
That's it. They'll book the best trip for your needs. It's absolutely no cost to you. And the reason why we wanted to do this was we wanted to incorporate our Unlocking the Magic philosophy with a travel agency so that you guys can create the most incredible vacation memories.
So if you are headed to one of these areas and you want us to help you, contact us. If you're an agent and you want to join our team, we're open for that as well.
Yes, hit us up at info@unlockingthemagic.com.
Gotta join the team.
That's right. Gotta support the team.
Team UTM, Tonga, Team Talks, all of that above.
Yes, and thank you to all of you that have already reached out. We really appreciate every single one of you.
When we first went to Universal Studios, I had listen, that's the key to my life, having low expectations about everything. And I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
I think the key is having low expectations. But one of the things that I really like about Universal is you can
One of the things, this show is called 10 Things You Love. So is this one of them?
One of my top things, like a bonus, is the fact that you can sort of just show up at Universal. It's a lot easier to plan your day out.
Definitely.
I do think it is a park that it may take several days to actually fully appreciate and see, at least the way we do it. And I do think that should be incorporated. Like if you're just planning on one day, just know that you're not going to be able to see everything.
So there's two parks in Orlando.
Rush.
There's Universal Studios, and then there's Islands of Adventure. Today's podcast is focused on Universal Studios.
Yeah, so Universal Studio in Florida. So Universal Studios Orlando it's a theme park based around the entertainment industry that takes guests behind the scenes and into the magic of television and movie making. One of my absolute favorite things.
You love the movies, and that's kind of what draws you into Hollywood studios. And in my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, which nobody listens to me really anyway.
They shouldn't.
I think Universal Studios does a great job of incorporating movies that we're all aware of and familiar with into the parks.
For sure. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I like both Universal Studios and Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's definitely screams my childhood. I think Universal has a little bit more of an edge lately on bringing back that old school, you're on a movie set type of feel. And that's exactly what I absolutely crave, me personally.
You need a niche. Everybody needs a niche.
Everybody needs a niche. So Universal describes itself as, quote, just like watching your favorite TV shows and movies, except with the ultimate ridey things. They say ridey, like twists, turns, and drops.
Wait, they say ultimate ridey things?
They do.
Wow, we fit right in there.
Right? It has, I say, 8 areas around its lagoon. So there's always plenty of things to see and do. So the themes that Universal Orlando has is the production central. There's the New York section, San Francisco, Hollywood section.
That's fun to say.
Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone.
That's funner to say.
That is a lot funner to say. Springfield, which is The Simpsons, World Expo, and lastly, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
So in this episode, we're going to go through each one of those, or going to give, by going through our 10 things we love about Universal, we're going to kind of hit on all of those things.
Sort of.
Except for Woody Woodpecker. We're going to leave him out.
Maybe some part of... I liked the Simpsons ride and everything. It was just a little bit much. I need to go back to really kind of anticipate the motion of that ride.
Well, a mistake we made was going on that multiple times, kind of close together.
That would be it.
So I think as we go through, we'll talk about some things that maybe Universal doesn't do great.
In this episode, so we're going to virtually go through the park and discuss our favorites. We have to start things off with one of the major draws to Universal, and that is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley. Just get it out of the way.
It's amazing. Listen, I am not anti-Harry Potter, but I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Like, I don't really watch the movies. I've never read the books. Other than the kids watching the movies and me kind of being around, I've never really watched any of the movies from start to finish. That being said, this is one of the most amazing lands I've ever seen.
I think that's a great point to make, because even if you're not a huge fan of the series, you haven't watched all the movies, full disclosure, I've only seen the first Harry Potter movie ever. And I love that movie, but I just stopped watching it the first one, and I've only read one book. So, but you still will have fun visiting this area of the park. And so let me just start off with saying how Universal describes this park. Follow and Harry.
Does it say it's a wizardry thingy?
It's a wizarded thingy.
It's a wizardry thingy with fire stuff and dragonese.
They do some wizardy things. Says, follow in Harry Potter's footsteps as you walk through the streets of London and enter Diagon Alley, where you'll find many of the Wizarding World's most famous establishments. Dine at the Leaky Cauldron, see a wand, and choose a wizard at Ollivander's Wand Shop, and get ready to travel deep below Gringotts Bank for a multi-dimensional ride. And that's right from Universal Orlando website.
I don't know. I went there. I don't know anything about Harry Potter, but I wanted a wand, I wanted a robe, I wanted a hat, and I wanted to eat at the place.
You wanted all the things. I mean, talk about marketing gold. They get you right from the beginning. As a Disney enthusiast, I really have to say and admit, I was not expecting to love this area of Universal as much as I did, as much as you did, Bruce, because first of all, there's a lot of hype surrounding it, which automatically sets my expectations too high. And then I always find I get disappointed when my expectations are way too high. But I was wrong. I mean, I didn't think Universal could go deep in the immersion, and they did. Immediately when you walk through the brick wall, I actually remember gasping.
It was cool. It was really cool to see. And like I said before, I don't know anything about Harry Potter, really. And I was still very interested. You know what? It is great too. If you do go with someone who's into Harry Potter,
that's fun.
They get excited. It's almost like when you go to Disney with someone who's never been and you've been a lot. You get to kind of share with them what you know, like the insider secrets. So our kids were kind of pointing out things to me and explaining to me as we were walking around what things were. But even if you don't know what it is, it's still an immersive, amazing place to visit. And you don't need to really know anything.
When I arrived, I immediately said to myself, or I wanted to say to you, Bruce, I said, I'm a wizard, Bruce.
I know.
I found where I belong. The cobblestone streets, the shops, Borgin and Burke's, which has such incredible detail. You don't even have to buy anything to really appreciate all that the store has to offer. The experience in Wizarding World is it's literally magic, because you can conduct magic with your wand if you really want to go that far. You don't have to, but you can. But like Bruce said, it kind of fits the theme so well that you almost really want to. I gotta say, Harry Potter and Escape from Gringotts, the ride there isn't actually one of my favorites. It's not my favorite ride really overall. I think it's one of the best queues I've seen, but it's not necessarily something I have to ride. I don't know how you felt about it, but I know that you hurt your knee.
Well, my knee was hurting before, and then I went on there, and they kind of smush your knee in there. Like, not that they smush your knee, but I'm a tall guy, taller. Yeah. And they make you get in there quite tight in order for it to be able to go. But it solved my knee problem. I was pretty fine after that. I don't know if it cracked something or what happened, but I was pretty cool after that.
Yeah.
I thought it was listen, again, it was cool. And the queue, like you said, I think this queue was probably one of the best queues I've ever seen.
Well, it starts off with the massive fire-breathing dragon that is perched atop Gringotts Bank, and it's quite the showstopper. We find ourselves waiting until we actually get to see the flames blasting out of the dragon. Did you know that it's 3,560 degrees Fahrenheit?
I did not. But it
super
felt pretty warm
warm
in there, though. I do know that it was pretty warm when we were in there. So
on the alley outside.
no, I didn't know.
You didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. Listen, I told you I don't know anything about it. All I know is what my experience was there.
Well, I gotta say, overall, hands down, I like going here. We like to visit in the morning because it's usually a little less crowded. You get to see and appreciate a little bit more of the space because it is a reflection of the winding streets and cobblestones of London. So they try to condense the area, which can get a little tight and a little uncomfortable.
It definitely was a little claustrophobic. If you're not one to like crowds like me,
Yeah.
you know, it can get a little claustrophobic in there.
Go early. And then I do think it's something you need to see at night again because it gives it a whole nother layer of the story that you need to see, and it comes more alive at night.
The other thing that it does really well is it hides it from the rest of the park. So you really have to walk through the tunnel and go into, like you're walking into the city in the back alleyway, and you kind of open up to it, whereas you can't see it from the outside. And once you're in there, you can't really see the outside at all. You're in there.
You're in there.
You're in there.
You're doing some magic tricks.
Once you're in, you're a wizard.
I'm a wizard, Bruce. That's really what I thought.
I couldn't use my wand to make the line shorter, though.
That's true.
I was trying to do that, and it didn't work out too well for me.
All right, number 2, Streets of New York.
This is really cool for pictures and just to kind of hang out and relax if you want to get lunch somewhere and kind of go sit down on the stoop, kind of hang out. This is a great place to do that.
It's classic New York from 1930s, 1950s architecture where you really feel like you're on set of a Hollywood film. And the alleyways and the buildings, they are a great backdrop and one of my favorite places. I've taken so many fun photos. I tell the kids to get into the spirit.
Whoa.
What?
You think they're fun? They're kind of annoying to us.
The kids actually appreciate it. Maybe it's like when I make them do 7 poses, I get where I go overboard. But the beginning, at least the first 3 photos, they're all in.
Yeah, you get them all hyped up in the beginning. They want to do it. And then all of a sudden, 72 pictures later, we're like, all right, are we done yet? I feel like we got every angle we need to.
Well, my last time we were there, we took photos and we had our nephew with us. And I said to them, all right, go onto the stoop and pretend that you all are coming out of the building or in the building, but you have your own story to tell. So, you know, our oldest, I said, you know, you're going into your apartment. Then our nephew, I said, you're going to visit the store. And they all kind of did that motion and the photo came out so neat. I wanted it to be our Christmas photo. It was awesome. I love it. And I highly recommend getting into that type of mindset because you're going to have way more fun.
Do you have that photo?
I have several.
You know what? We'll share them inside Patreon.
So you know what I did? I was digging into the New York set streets of Universal Studios Florida, and I saw one of the designers. His name is Dennis Kraft. And if you go onto this website.
Wait, the designer's name is Dennis Kraft?
Yeah.
What a great name if you're a designer. Like
right?
you make stuff and your name is Kraft.
It's spelled with a K, but that's fine, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the website, you'll see not only the actual completed version of the facade of the New York streets, but you'll see the sketches of when they were designing it. It's really neat to see. I gotta admit, I was really blown away with how these artists come together and create this amazing landscape.
You know, number 3 is our Patreon group, Connie.
What's that?
Join our Patreon group. Number 3. Number 3 reason why we love Universal, so we can go there and you can join us in Patreon. Isn't that what it says here?
No.
Oh, but you can anyway.
I like the plug.
Head over to unlockingthemagic.com. Check us out in Patreon. We'll share images inside of Patreon that are embarrassing and we won't share anywhere else.
I don't think they're embarrassing.
Oh, some of them are embarrassing.
Some of you. I know I've posted some things that
You've posted some things of me that I don't want anywhere on the internet.
Sorry about that.
And they're in there. So if you want, it's $5 a month. You get extra podcast episodes and we hang out in there. So go check it out.
The real number 3 is the Hollywood section. I know these aren't rides or anything yet. We're getting there.
Yeah, but that's the thing about our podcast that makes us different.
What's that?
We don't always talk about all the rides.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the experience. And it's about, like, when I look back in my life, I want to remember things I did.
Mm-hmm.
And, hanging out sometimes on the streets of New York inside of Universal Studios is a great experience and a memory.
I feel like number 2, Streets of New York, is your favorite. This one here, number 3, the official number 3, the Hollywood section, is my favorite. It's what I remember when I was visiting the park as a child.
The only things, number 2, the Streets of New York is missing is a good pizza place.
I disagree. I think the pizza there is okay.
What?
I think it's not bad for park pizza.
Podcast over.
I enjoyed the pizza.
That's because, hold on, you enjoyed the pizza because A, you were starving.
Yeah.
And B,
I'm not going to disagree with that.
There wasn't a lot of great food options there.
I would say A, I was hungry. B, it was a familiar food. Even bad pizza can be good.
Constantina.
And
hold on.
I'm
trying to get my services provided to Universal, and you're not helping me out here.
What I like about pizza is that you can buy it and a whole family can enjoy it, and it's not as expensive or annoying as ordering 5 different meals.
I agree with you on one point of that. One pizza can feed a whole family. Whether we enjoy it or not, if it's not good pizza, that's yet to be seen.
It is easy, right? You're not like, all right, what do you want? Oh, what do you want? And then you're like, but you had chicken for lunch yesterday. Like, it just pizza.
Didn't you see me wink like I did before the Patreon plug?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get Universal to hire me to fix the pizza over there.
All right. Can I go on with Hollywood section, please?
Let's do it.
So it's a glamorous architecture of old Hollywood, again, from the 1930s to the 1950s, that immerses you in the magic of movie making during the golden age of Hollywood. I love personally strolling along Hollywood Boulevard and pretending I'm walking on set onto a film. That's my favorite. Or like posing with the Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame. I think I have that photo.
That's like the ideal version of what you think movie making is like, because if you really think about what movie making is like and you watch behind the scenes, it doesn't look any fun.
Well, I mean, it's work.
I know, but it doesn't seem like that when you're watching the movie, and I'm having so much fun.
To me, it has the same element. It's funny that you get that take away from that. I actually see all that magic, even when it's work and everyone has bags under their eyes because they've been on set for 13 hours. Like, to me, that's the energy I absolutely crave, and I'm just fascinated by. I'm fascinated that these minds come together and they create art.
Yeah, I could never do that because after 2 takes, I'd be like, I quit.
They do have like snack services and stuff, though.
No, maybe I'll be in then.
Although I don't know if they'd allow as many bathroom breaks as you need.
My movies would be terrible because I would never do multiple takes. It'd be like, if we mess up, that's part of the movie. That's in there.
So here on the Hollywood section, again, it's a beautiful architecture from old Hollywood. You'll see even some celebrities, some OG celebrities. My personal favorite, Betty Boop, Marilyn Monroe, if you catch her in time. The one thing I do miss that they took away here, and they added a store, which is the Hello Kitty store, which our niece actually loves the Hello Kitty store, which I'm partial to because I really miss what was here, which was the Lucy tribute, which is a walk-through museum dedicated to Lucille Ball. And she was an incredible pioneer and so far ahead of her time. We actually did a Paramount Studios tour years ago, and they talked a lot about her, so I've been sort of fascinated with her ever since. So if there's anything I wish they could add back is some element of Lucy.
That was cool. Maybe we should do a podcast. Let us know if you're interested in us doing podcasts, because the podcast we did where we would kind of go over the Universal Studios tour in Los Angeles would be very cool.
The Paramount Studios tour?
That's what I meant. See? Again, we're leaving it in there. That's why I don't do movies.
Next one, number 4. And I know this one, Bruce is going to agree with me. E.T. Adventure. Don't give us any hate, because I know there are people out there that are like, really?
Who hates this?
Well, I think a lot of people may think that this needs a major refurbishment or it's too old school. But honestly, this one here is an OG. The ride itself opened with the park back in 1990, and it remains the only attraction left, the OG attraction.
It reminds me of the 80s quite a bit because it does have older technology, and it's obviously E.T., which is set in the 80s.
Right.
But I thought it was so cute. And the kids loved it. And our kids are young. And I don't know if they've watched E.T. a lot. They didn't obviously grow up with it like we did. And they still had a blast on this one. I think it's because of the bikes. It's a different kind of ride that you're on.
So Universal describes this as fly with E.T. to his home planet. E.T.'s home planet is dying and needs your help to save it. Board your flying bike and take off on a thrilling but gentle ride through the sky. You'll dodge bad guys and soar into stars where his magical home awaits. filled with wondrous, otherworldly creatures. And I gotta say, I actually didn't see E.T. as a young kid. It took me a while to watch the movie E.T. for some reason, but I really like how, number one, it's one of the, I think, best cues. It's in a forest. You just feel really serene and magical. And then it fulfills my childhood desire just to fly on a bike.
I know. I was going to say, I've always wanted to fly on a bike, and this lets you fly on a bike.
Even if you didn't see the film as a kid, like I didn't, I remember the poster, and I remember seeing the bike in the sky, and like the moon setting. I always wanted to do that.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't see E.T. as a kid, because you are a very 80s movie person.
I'm a 80s movies buff, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I love it. It's interactive. E.T. speaks it to you, speaks to you at the end of your journey, which is always really fun. And it's pure nostalgia. It's definitely for the 80s enthusiast in me, especially now. I really hope that even like with new shows, like we happen to be really addicted to Stranger Things, it was set in the 80s. So I hope that it kind of reignites and re-events and helps this ride stay put. Because
this would be a cool Stranger Things ride. If you had to retheme this,
no, don't
Stranger
retheme
Things
it.
would be cool.
I mean, I love Stranger Things. But
That would be so cool. Imagine riding your
yeah.
bikes like with Dustin and all those.
That would be kind of
Dustin
cool.
and Mike
Yeah.
kind of running from the Demogorgon.
Yeah. Well, I really like this attraction. The kids do too, and it's one of my favorites. Number 5, again, with another cool, sort of nostalgic, because it's an older movie, Men in Black, Alien Attack.
You know what? You say nostalgia, and I didn't realize Men in Black came out like 30 years ago.
It's such a good movie that it doesn't seem like it. Like, we watch it every Halloween. I usually have this like Halloween list of movies, and this is always one of them. And at least the first one, and I'm talking the original one, because I know they did like a remake, right?
They've done 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
They've done like, I think Will Smith was in 3, and then they did another one recently with Thor.
Yes.
Which wasn't great.
He'll always be named as Thor. I didn't mind that as much, but I really like the first film with Will Smith. It's just really funny and such a fun movie for us to watch as a family.
It came out in 1997.
Wow.
That was 7 years ago, right?
Totally. Universal says New York has been hit by an epidemic of aliens, and it's up to you, agent trainee, to blast them into oblivion. Use your laser gun to zap those little suckers and rack up points before they zap back at you, sending your car spinning out of control. With the fate of Earth in your hands, you'll become a full-fledged Men in Black agent.
I didn't know if I loved the cue for this one. It was a cool visual cue.
What?
But I don't know. I didn't love it. It seemed kind of boring.
Stop the show. Are you kidding me? That's where you train to become a Men in Black agent.
I didn't feel it. Maybe I was hungry. I think I was angry because we just got pizza and it was gross. Then we went to Men in Black, and I was still mad about that.
I think this is one of the best cues. I think it's one of the best rides.
Whoa.
Wait. Yes.
Take it easy.
I really thought this cue was fun. Maybe because I'm really, one weird thing about me is I really love aliens. So that is just a fun little way to kind of capture my own spirit and heart, so that it's got everything I want. And it's got the element of speed, because your car that's spinning, it goes a lot faster than what I'm used to for a shooter kind of ride.
Yeah, because you're used to thinking of Buzz Lightyear, where it's kind of
fun.
a slow go through, right? Like
Right.
you're going through, but you're going through it at a very slow speed.
Yeah. Well, that fulfills my need to go fast and be annoying. And I like how it's competitive. And there are 120 alien species on board.
That's all there
in
is?
the city.
Oh, in the city. I was going to say, there's got to be more than that, right? There's like
On
4 bazillion planets.
Oh, well, yeah.
Thousands and millions of solar systems. There's a lot of species out there.
Okay.
But I like the ride. I don't know if I love the queue that much. But
All right.
again, I may have been skewed from that pizza we ate.
I think for sure you had.
They don't have Tonga toast in Universal, unfortunately.
Number 6. And I just want to make note that these are in no specific order, because this one here, number 6, is probably one of my all-time favorite roller coasters. It's on the list of one of my favorite roller coasters. And this one is Revenge of the Mummy, The Ride.
This roller coaster definitely was awesome.
Based on the movie Revenge of the Mummy.
The movie Revenge of the Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
I can't believe you remembered the name.
I can't believe I did either.
That's impressive. I didn't even remember. Yeah.
I literally just pulled that off the top of my head.
Cool. Yeah. So what were you gonna say?
I'm just asking if that was the movie that this is based off of.
Yeah, and as you enter the building, you'll find the movie memorabilia throughout, and you're taken backstage. But then there's a curse.
I don't remember the cue at all on this, and I know we wrote it multiple times. I don't remember the cue.
There's a curse on the set of the movie, and then a fully immersive ride. The details here on this attraction are outstanding because they even have real warnings in Egyptian hieroglyphics.
The building I remember outside being really cool.
The building is cool.
Like it looks like you're going into an Egyptian temple.
Universal says, if you dare face heart-pounding special effects and unexpected twists at every turn as you escape the mummy's revenge and lifelike horror, it will change you forever. The ride catapults guests at speeds up to 45 miles per hour in virtual darkness. I think what makes this one of my top coasters is that it was unexpected. I didn't expect it to be super fast and super thrilling. And I could have read and YouTubed and discovered beforehand, but that's something I like to do. I like to be surprised. And to my surprise, it has remained one of my top coasters.
So what you're saying is you went in with low expectations.
I don't know if I would call it low expectations because...
Well, low expectations and no expectations are kind of the same thing.
I guess so. I didn't particularly I'm not a huge fan of Revenge of the Mummy, the movie.
Who is?
Me.
No, I'm asking who is.
There might be people, but I am a huge fan of all things Egyptian and Egypt. I love seeing all the architecture and all that. So I think it combined so many needs that I didn't even know I had that it just overall a really great, thrilling ride.
The only bad part of this is the lockers outside.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That is a bummer. Can I just bring my string backpack? I'll take the risk.
It does make me reconsider of how I should dress the next time we go to Universal. I almost want to just do cargo pants somehow with tons of zippers and I don't know, no bags.
Or get a locker that you can leave in the locker for the whole time you're there and then not have to go into a locker on every attraction.
I just want to have that feeling of being free. I'm so tired of carrying everybody's stuff.
Oh, we need no kids to go with us then. I think if we went on no kids, we'd be pretty free.
That's what it is. Okay.
We get to choose where we want to eat. Nobody else's stuff I'm carrying.
Yeah.
Except for my own.
All right, number 7, I think this was more on your list, Bruce. It's truly not my favorite, even though I am a fan of roller coasters. It's Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket.
This was amazing.
For those about to rock.
Listen, I don't know if I get a little nervous on roller coasters. I don't love heights that much, but I love the thrill and the feeling that you get while you're on it. The anticipation kind of bothers me a little bit, and I get a little butterflies. And
maybe that's why I don't love it as much. It's truly a very fast ride.
It hits up to 65 miles an hour, which doesn't feel like a lot. You're like, 65 miles an hour is not fast. But when you're sitting in an open air on a metal beam that's going fast upside down and whatever it is.
167-foot vertical lift.
It feels like you're going 180.
Yeah.
And I mean 180 miles an hour.
So here's an interesting fact. The coaster, like I said, 160-foot tall vertical lift with speeds up to 65 miles per hour. But despite the loop and corkscrews, it does not actually invert. And that is something I wish I knew before riding because I will never forget this feeling. I remember we got there. We had to empty our stuff. They're very strict about making sure there's nothing with you because things can fall out of pockets. You actually even go through a metal detector to ride. So you're going through all these steps just to get on there. And I'm like, where are we going?
Like on a plane or something?
Yeah, it's intense, right? The feeling, you can hear the screams. So you're just already kind of the adrenaline's pumping. And for me anyway, I love coasters, but I was really nervous. And then you get on board and of course you have to pick your music. But I remember getting on board and from the when you're walking around the park, you can see this coaster and the corkscrew and stuff. I remember getting in and going, where's my harness? Why is it just a lap? It's not a lap bar. Well, it's a thick bar, right?
Yeah. I mean, it secures you pretty good, but it doesn't go over your shoulders like they do with Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh my goodness. What did we just get ourselves into? I'm fully
You thought we were going upside down without a shoulder harness.
I did. I fully forgot about my own children. I was solely admittedly focused on how scared and terrified I was. And what did I just put ourselves, like, what did I do? What did I do? And then the things started going and you just can't, I mean, there's no time to even have a thought after that. Once it starts, it's all over. It was a really, really fun ride. And I just wish I knew it didn't go upside down. I think I would have been a little less scared and a little
You
bit
were a
more-
little bit nervous in the beginning, which made you not have the greatest time in the beginning.
Yes.
But then you get off and you're like, oh man, that was great. I want to go on one more time now that I know what to expect.
Right. So, okay. So Universal says this tavern coaster offers a musical twist. As you strap in, you'll pick the song you want to hear above your own shrieks, adrenaline pumping, and music thumping.
Wait, is this the one that had the video? Like it took a video of you, but you didn't really know it took a video of you?
The best part of this ride, I think, is the video. Yes.
Especially if you've never been there before. Like if you've never been on this or you go with somebody else, don't tell them there's a video. Because it is the funniest thing you're ever going to see in your life, watching their reaction on the coaster if they don't know there's a video there. If they are aware of it, it's going to be a different reaction. But, don't tell them.
Our nephew went on, and he must have had the same reaction I did.
He was so nervous. I remember him kind of struggling to... he was looking for the shoulder harnesses. Like, he thought he wasn't incorrect. It was the funniest thing ever.
I literally will never forget that reaction and the video. I don't think we've ever laughed so hard in our lives watching the replay.
It might have been the best part of our trip.
Yeah.
This very well may have been the best part of our trip is watching that video replay after we went on that.
Fun fact, this coaster is 17 stories tall and one of the tallest coasters in town. And rumor has it, I've never done this, so this is definitely going to be something that I have to try next time. There is a secret song menu on board that you have to kind of know the tips to kind of
I don't remember
find.
finding a secret song menu, but I remember not being able to pick a song that I actually liked.
Well, according to the secret song menu, if you can figure out a way to get on there, which I'm going to try next time, there's Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty, which I think might be a good song to ride. No?
Meh.
He was one of my favorites. So.
It's got to be more rock and roll. Like Metallica or something.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you're going to get scared to death. You might as well listen to some Metallica.
The Diz kids, our kids said recently they were talking about Universal themselves, and they said that they'd be funny to have, like, classical music going. So it's like...
jazz music?
That would be funny.
A symphony?
A symphony on this coaster as everyone's screaming would be kind of hysterical.
That would be pretty funny, actually.
All right, number 8, again on Bruce's list.
This was on my list, The Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, and I think I had the lowest expectations for any attraction in the history of attractions going on this.
Again.
So much so that I think they had to beg me to go on.
The Diz kids actually commented on this recently, and they said, what do you think about this? And one of them said, there's air conditioning.
They didn't love it?
I guess not. I thought that they would, but they'll go on, but it's not a must-do.
It's not like the greatest ride ever, but I just thought it was going to be something totally different than what it ended up being.
Take a show for a ride, face Jimmy Fallon and all your favorite characters from NBC's The Tonight Show in a fun-filled race through below and above New York City. Board the unique flying theater and you'll speed through the busy streets of Midtown Manhattan, soar over skyscrapers, and dive into the East River as you hurdle neck and neck towards the finish line. So my favorite thing about this was I thought it was like just a show itself. So
yeah, you thought it was going to be like a recreation of The Tonight Show. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so I was kind of excited when it was actually a ride. It was fun. I think one of the best part is seeing the history of The Tonight Show. I'm an old school kind of, I like the older...
It was like a museum going through into the movie, into the ride itself. So that was cool. I'm not a huge Jimmy Fallon fan. Not that I have anything against Jimmy Fallon. I'm just old and I can't stay up that late to watch Jimmy Fallon.
Sorry.
So I'm not super familiar with The Tonight Show other than like the nostalgia of The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's why I kind of didn't have any desire to go on this because I'm like, I don't know. Jimmy Fallon's not on my list of people to see.
It is cool, even if you're not a fan and if you can't stay up to watch
I just aged myself. I said 1997 was 7 years ago, and I can't stay up late enough to watch The Tonight Show.
It's all right. Anyways, it is cool to see the memorabilia from 60 years of the show's famous host. So that's kind of cool. It's cool to see where they started from. But again, it's just a fun
AC version of a ride. There you go.
There you go.
You get to watch a show. It's a fun ride, and you get AC. There you go.
The kids had it right. All right, number 9, the live entertainment. I guess this is one of the elements of Universal I wasn't expecting a whole lot.
This is also one of the elements of the podcast that you didn't consult me on.
Why? Oh, that's right. Sorry. Well, you didn't consult me on the race through New York.
That is true.
We're even.
Touche.
Number 9, the live entertainment. I like how you can see the Blues Brothers show. It's located on the streets of New York. They also have these cool beat builders, which is construction on scaffolding in the streets of New York. You get to see, again, characters like Betty Boop, which is really fun. And then usually during the holidays, the number 1 selling Christmas artist of all time. The Christmas music of Mannheim Stroller.
Steamroller. Mannheim Steamroller with
again.
Chip Davis.
I can't believe I botched that.
I'll pull you in there, lady.
Back it up.
Back it up.
Sorry, you guys. Mannheim Steamroller with Chip Davis. And it's really fun. We just have this inside joke with us with our family because it was an unexpected element of our vacation when we got to see this live show. And he was great. And it was just an overall fun time. We just had so much fun. I really love it.
Why does live entertainment make me uncomfortable?
I'm not sure.
I don't either. I think it's the element of being like, I like seeing Chip Davis because he's on stage and he's in the musical aspect of it is cool. I'm afraid of street performers. I'm afraid of them pulling me into the performance.
Well, my next one too, which I wish they did more of. I think if that would be my one complaint of Universal is you get to see the DeLorean from my all-time favorite movie, Back to the Future. It's like my all-time comfort movie whenever I'm having a bad day. It's actually not a Disney movie. Like this movie is something we all like to watch. And you get to meet Doc Brown, which is really cool, but it's from a distance. So I wish they would do more of that. I guess there was more of an attraction there with Back to the Future, but I guess people aren't watching the older movies, so maybe they have to kind of reinvent as time goes on, but those movies are classic.
Back to the Future is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, it was a good movie. All right, number 10, Mel's Drive-In. Okay, hear me out.
I'm listening. Is there food involved?
There's food.
I'm listening then.
Universal doesn't, at least this park, doesn't have the best food options. I think that's a complaint I've always had. I think there are better options over at Island of Adventure. But here, it's just basic burgers, drive-in type food. But the atmosphere is so cool. And it is no surprise that I like it because it's a 50s drive-in.
Yeah, I mean, you like old school stuff.
I really do. It's cruise over to this hip hangout, prepare to rock around the clock at this American graffiti-inspired 50s drive-in featuring golden oldies on the jukebox and shiny vintage cars out front. Choose from burgers and fries, chicken fingers, onion rings, root beer floats, and milkshakes. Dine inside with a classic vinyl booth or outside beneath the glow of neon lights. I really love seeing the old school cars. I have a lot of pictures of the kids posing with the cars, so it's just fun.
You love old 50s things, and even it was like Johnny Rockets was an old hamburger joint that you used to love that kind of had the same kind of vibe as Mel's Drive-In.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to have a burger and a shake, you got to have it with some classic cars in a 50s style diner.
I mean, obviously.
Like they go hand in hand.
So that's why it's on my list. I really like it. It's really fun.
I agree with that. The live entertainment thing, and I don't know if I agree with that so much as being one of the things that I love, but I know you love it.
All right, bonus. I would say butterbeer is fun to try at least once. It's not my favorite. But there are a lot of variety of ways you can enjoy it, like ice cream. There's butterbeer ice cream. There's all these different types of butterbeer. I think it's one of those nostalgic things that it goes hand in hand with your visit to the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
And it's more of a thing if you know or are not aware of Harry Potter. Like I had no idea what butterbeer was.
That's true.
So I tried it. Like it was like Connie mentioned. It was a good thing. You definitely got to try it once if you are in the park, but I don't know if it's something that you got to go back for every time.
Try it and share it. Split it with your...
Whoa, that's disgusting. Don't do that. Get your own.
That's what we did.
I know, and it was grossing me out a little. I'm not going to lie.
Because you don't want to try something like that and not
it's like foamy
it.
And I don't know. Something about it. Something about it that I can't handle that. It's like sharing a soft serve ice cream.
That's gross.
Without a spoon. Like a cone. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's gross.
Exactly.
I don't know if drinking butterbeer would be the
Similar
same.
vibes for me.
Okay. Well, the next thing, which I already talked about, bonus, is that essentially you can just show up here and enjoy your day in some element, right? I mean, it's good to have a plan. It's good to listen to shows like this, or just get familiar with where.
Good plug there.
Yeah, or just just get familiar with the surroundings so you know exactly what are your must-dos and where you want to spend a lot of the time during the park day. But I do think that this park is a little bit easier to navigate. My feet don't hurt as much when we're visiting. It's smaller, but there's a lot to see and do.
We went there our first time. Well, you've been there before as a kid. My first time, I had no clue what to do or what to look for, and it wasn't hard to navigate around the park and kind of get a feel for where you're at.
Bruce, the shark is still there. Unfortunately, yeah, it's the only thing left from my favorite, which is the boat ride Jaws. I really liked that ride. I remember being terrified, but having the most fun with my mom and dad. I'll never forget my dad's giggling when the shark would come over to the boat, and
it kind of had backlot tour vibes.
It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what you're experiencing. But I wish that there was more over there. Maybe someday, I don't know. But Bruce, you can still go take a picture with the shark and kind of have fun with him there. And then a few things that we're looking forward to trying next time. Definitely, I want to check out Universal's horror makeup show. So don't let the name fool you. It's not scary.
Okay, well, I
I've
let
heard
the name
it's
fool me
funny.
because I heard horror and makeup, and I was horrified.
I've heard it's actually funny. It's a stage show with makeup artists show you how they create these amazing masks and features for movies.
Oh, that is pretty cool. So it's more of like how they make people look like monsters.
Correct.
Got it.
Yep. I want to try a park-to-park ticket, I think, at one point, only because this is how they get you here. It's the only way you can really ride Hogwarts Express right now. So
I have a bone to pick with that.
Go ahead.
Like, the parks are right next to each other. How long could that train ride be?
Yeah. It's not...
Like, you get on, and 5 seconds later, you're at the other park. Like, I could walk there fast.
Well, it's an experience at least want to have at least once. So that's something that I really want to try doing. There is now the Bourne Spectacular, which is a stage show, which I actually have heard good things about. They said that even if you're not a fan of the movie Bourne Identity, is it called? I think that
Yes.
Matt Damon, I believe, that people really enjoy this stage show. And I think our youngest would especially like this type of show.
More of a stunt kind of show.
Yeah. And I can't believe Bruce, block your ears. Take a time out.
All right.
The next thing I really want to try, I want to try the Halloween Horror Night.
Is Halloween Horror Nights really scary?
Sure, no, not at all.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I want to try it at least once. I am not good with I love everything Halloween. I love Halloween Town. I wish there was a place we could go and enjoy Halloween all year round. I'm not really good with anything gory, but I've heard really good things about this, and I just want to try it. It just seems like an adventure, a night of fun that I've always kind of been. I'm gonna admit it. I'm jealous when I see people go. Like, I really want to try it at least once.
All right, maybe we'll try it once. Kind of like the Fast and Furious ride. I'll do it once.
Not my favorite. No. I would definitely, my opinion, I would skip that one. The technology is really cool for when it debuted, I think, for its time. But I think it's time. I don't know.
I'll step in there. Worst attraction ever.
Not the worst attraction
ever. What's worse?
It's not.
What's worse?
You know what it is with that attraction? Okay, and this is the only complaint I would say for myself with Universal is that there are a lot of attractions with a lot of screen 3D images. So there is a certain part of the day where you're just like craving reality.
Yeah.
And nothing with a screen. Because at least for me, my eyes would feel funky.
I will say one thing too. Like, a lot of people said that their husbands or kids or sons or anybody actually is into cars. And if you're into cars, the queue is pretty cool.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I think that's what appealed to our youngest. But I think it's funny the Diz Kids did say on their podcast was they thought the ride itself was taking, like, they didn't realize at the time, but when they were riding the attraction, they thought it was just the beginning of a pre-show. They didn't realize that
because
was
you just
it.
sit on a bus and there's just screens all around you.
You definitely crave some just like real kind of experiences. And I think that's at that point of the day, we might have been later in the day when we visited. I was kind of over it at that point. But overall, you're in Universal, so it can't be that bad.
Right.
And that's a wrap.
Well, if I do say so myself, you did a great job in this episode.
Okay. It was all me, not
It was
you.
pretty much all you. I was along for the ride on this one.
All
I was
right.
the passenger on Fast and the Furious, just hanging on for the ride. You were the bus driver.
All right, I can't wait to talk about 10 things we love about Islands of Adventure.
And
soon.
Disneyland and California Adventure and Disney Cruise.
So many things to talk about.
There's so much stuff we're going to be talking about that
All
we
right.
love. And we hope you love it too. And if you do, a 5-star review would be great. And if you don't, and you got this far, what are you doing?
Don't review.
Yeah.
Just forget you ever heard it.
Just delete the episode and move on.
Move on.
Thank you so much. If you want to join us inside Patreon, you can do that. If you want to join our team over at Unlocking the Travel.
I'm going to
shorten that
basically,
link up.
We are actually doing that.
We're unlocking the travel over here. Over here.
Yeah.
All right. So go check that out as well, unlockingthemagictravel.com. And the show notes for this episode will be over at our home base, unlockingthemagic.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.